Okay, here we go. Chapter 11, warding off criticism. Oh, I wish I would have read this or been taught this when I decided to buy my starter kit and started calling family and friends immediately because I was so excited about the opportunity. Like, I really felt like, oh my gosh, like this is what I've been looking for. This is what I thought I went to college for. This is the tribe. This is the, place. This is the, field that I am supposed to be planted in and grow in and then, you know, share the legacy with. And so I didn't expect people to tear down my goals and dreams and criticize them and undermine them and lack of support. And some like really nasty. It's like, I don't know. I didn't want to be a third grade teacher, but I wasn't nasty to the friend that wanted to be. I decided not to go to law school, but I wasn't nasty or derogative or critical of the friend that went to law school. I had no desire to be in public accounting, but I wasn't undermining or negative or unsupportive of the friend that wanted to do that. So I found it so unusual that in Mary Kay, some people's warm markets just aren't very positive and supportive, and that's okay. And I've actually found that the bigger your goal is, and the more anchored in God's plans through you are, the bigger the pushback will be, which makes sense if you understand. I thought everyone was good and just a few were bad. And then I've realized that it's a fallen world. There's a lot of bad stuff going on there, but this is not our final destination, thank goodness. So Nehemiah's response to warding off criticism was: one, he prayed; two, he remembered the source of his vision; and three, he revised his plan. He prayed like that. If you're in the word and you're journaling, and if you don't, when I say journaling, don't know how to do that, you can go on my YouTube and look up spiritual leadership journaling. That's Experiencing God Blackaby Way. Also on my website, you could find that. But when you're sure that God's shared something with you, he doesn't change his mind. Like I just shared in chapter 10, he doesn't change his mind. I see people changing their minds all the time when it gets hard, when it doesn't look how they thought it was, when they have pushback, when life happens and there's a lot going on. But if you've prayed and then you remember the source of your vision, like if God's told me this is where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, and he's confirmed it over and over again, then who am I to tell him he's wrong? Kind of prideful. Yikes. Or who am I to bail out or slow down because of other people's choices or other people's opinions? Again, and I love the third one. He revised his plan. So he didn't say, I'm not going to build the wall. It's too hard. It didn't work out for me. It's not the right timing. I got to go pray about it some more. But it says, and this is a quote from Nehemiah 4:9, but we prayed to our God, and because of them, that's the critics, we set up a guard against them day and night. So how many people, when people are critical of your business, you quit, you stop pursuing? Maybe it's a random, individual that doesn't want a facial or ghost you, or someone that was at a party and was going to buy a roll-up bag and doesn't, or someone who starts a business and then quits, or someone who's a leader and bails out after decades. I've experienced all of those. But instead of Nehemiah being discouraged and frustrated and focusing, on the past and changing what God had told him to do based on their choices, he set up a guard against them day and night. And Mary Kay Ash taught us how to do this. She said, the 5 people you hang around with the most and the 5 books you've last read are going to determine where you're headed to in your life. And some of those 5 people may be family, but you can limit who in your family, including those who live in your household, you talk to Mary Kay about. Mary Kay gave you a director, a recruiter, a director, and Mary Kay National Area. You have access to all the national sales directors to be encouraging you, to be your balcony cheerleaders, to be coaching and training you. These other people, I don't know why they're critics, but I either look at it as a test from the Lord. Am I going to listen to him more so than any human on this planet, including my family? If it's God, family, career, then that relationship with God has to determine who you allow to influence you and how you invest your time towards the goals and dreams that God places in your heart for what he's created you for. And so there may be seasons that your husband gets it or not. I'm not saying be disrespectful, but I am saying that if you choose to listen to his wishes versus God's, that's idolatry, and or your children's versus God's, that's idolatry. And so, and we think idolatry, we don't have a good idea about it, but in our culture, idolatry tends to be homes, income amount, husbands, kids, social standing, professional success, those kind of things. It's not like the idols that we hear being buried in the Old Testament. But he revised his plan and he put guards up. So our guards are, what are you reading? Our guards are, who do you allow into your heart and head? You can listen to what a human says and it doesn't penetrate your heart and head. If that person, I was taught by Mary Kay Ash, is not in a position that I'd want to trade places with financially, I'm not going to take financial advice from someone who's not in a place that I would want to trade places with. Marriage, same. Raising kids, same. I need to see fruit, not what's going on right now. 10 years down the line, I want to see what's going on with those kids. In my Mary Kay business, same. I don't care what someone says about their current results. I want to see it in the long haul. I want to see the fruit according to what God calls fruit, and I want to see the ability to have it be easily duplicatable, to be able to pass it on, and sustainable. And then I will take note. So you guard your heart and your head. It says in the Bible, above all else, guard your heart. And Mary Kay even gave us permission. She said, just because someone is in a Mary Kay outfit and in Mary Kay does not mean she's positive. She could have a national suit on, director's suit on, red jacket on. If you go into a meeting and she starts complaining about all the cancellations and how hard it is, and I'm not making enough money, and you can't make enough money in Mary Kay, and blah, I don't like social media. I mean, all the different things that people, my town's too small, it's the wrong season of life, I have littles, I have aging parents, etc., etc., etc. Mary Kay gave us permission. She said, okay, thank you. I gotta, go use the restroom or go get a drink of water. And she goes, and you come back and you sit down in a different place because you do not allow someone who is in a mud puddle to splash mud on you. And so we get to guard our hearts and our heads. And this is something I had to learn to Mary Kay. And I am so grateful because if I wasn't in a business like this, that women modeled this for me and taught me how to do this, I still would be a people pleaser. I still would be like a cork on the ocean and just trying to make everyone happy. And we all know if we've been on this planet long enough that that's absolutely impossible and unhealthy and unbiblical. So you guys, he prayed, he remembered the source of his vision, and he revised his plan. He protected, he guarded his head and his heart. Have a great conversation.